Dr. Emily Carter's heart pounded as she watched the emergency broadcast from the Galactic Hunters Guild. The screen flickered with the ominous image of Tharok, the alien she had been studying for months, labeled a dangerous monster. A galaxy-wide bounty had been placed on its head. The declaration felt like a punch to the gut. "Tharok isn't a monster," Emily muttered to herself, shaking her head. The alien was indeed large and intimidating, with a hulking frame and sharp claws, but Emily knew better. Tharok had shown nothing but gentleness and intelligence during their interactions. Emily, a dedicated xenobiologist, had come to this remote outpost to study Tharok and understand its unique abilities. She never imagined the guild would target it. Her thoughts were interrupted by the sound of approaching ships. Hunters had arrived. "Dr. Carter, open up!" A voice boomed from outside. Emily took a deep breath and opened the door to face a group of heavily armed hunters, their leader glaring at her. "That beast is a menace." "Step aside, Doctor," the hunter leader demanded. Emily stood her ground. "Tharok is no monster. He saved lives today, more than you ever will." The hunters sneered, but before they could respond, an alarm blared through the outpost. A natural disaster was tearing through a nearby human colony. Without hesitation, Tharok sprang into action, its powerful legs propelling it toward the danger. Emily followed, determined to prove Tharok's innocence. As they reached the colony, chaos ensued. Buildings crumbled, and terrified residents scrambled for safety. Tharok's massive form moved through the wreckage with surprising agility, lifting debris and rescuing trapped humans with its strong arms. Emily's heart swelled with pride and fear for her friend. "Look at him," Emily shouted to the hunters who had arrived to witness the scene. "He's saving lives." Tharok continued its heroic efforts, using its unique abilities to stabilize collapsing structures and heal the injured with a touch. The colony's residents, initially fearful of the alien, began to see it as a savior. But the guild hunters were unmoved. "It's a trick," one snarled. "A ploy to lower our guard." The hunters raised their weapons, but the colony's residents formed a protective barrier around Tharok. "No, he saved us," they cried. Emily felt a surge of hope, but knew the battle was far from over. Back at the outpost, the guild broadcast a new message, doubling the bounty on Tharok's head. Emily's resolve hardened. She decided to campaign to protect Tharok, knowing it would mean facing backlash from both the guild and frightened locals. Emily gathered her team, a diverse group of scientists and diplomats, and began strategizing. "We need to gather evidence, testimonies, anything to prove Tharok's peaceful nature," she said, her voice firm. The tension in the research outpost was palpable as Dr. Emily Carter prepared to launch her campaign to protect Tharok. She stood before her team, a diverse group of scientists and diplomats, her determination evident in her eyes. "We need to show the galaxy that Tharok is not a monster," Emily began. "We'll gather evidence, collect testimonies, and document his actions. We have to prove his peaceful nature." Her team nodded, their expressions a mix of resolve and anxiety. They knew the risks, but they also believed in Tharok. Emily divided them into groups, assigning tasks to each member. As the days passed, Emily and her team worked tirelessly. They documented Tharok's interactions, capturing footage of its gentle behavior and the way it aided in rebuilding the nearby colony. Emily interviewed the colony's residents, who spoke of Tharok's heroism during the natural disaster. "He saved my daughter," one woman said, tears streaming down her face. "I don't care what the guild says. Tharok is a hero." Despite their efforts, not everyone was convinced. The guild's propaganda had sown deep seeds of fear. Emily faced hostility and sabotage. One night, she found her lab ransacked, equipment smashed, and data destroyed. "This won't stop us," Emily muttered, her resolve hardening. She doubled down on her efforts, rallying her team and urging them to stay strong. During a critical meeting, a diplomat named Marcus approached Emily. "I've been following your work, Dr. Carter. I believe in your cause. The Galactic Council needs to see this." Emily felt a surge of hope. "Thank you, Marcus. We need all the support we can get." The guild's hunters, however, were relentless. They sent more forces to the outpost, leading to tense confrontations. One night, Emily's team narrowly escaped an ambush thanks to Tharok's keen senses and quick thinking. "We can't keep doing this," Emily's assistant, Dr. Lee, said, his voice tinged with fear. "They're not going to stop." Emily placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "We're making progress, Lee. We just have to hold on a little longer." The breakthrough came when Tharok, once again, demonstrated its peaceful intentions. A group of hostile aliens attacked the colony, and Tharok defended the residents, using its abilities to protect them without causing harm. This act of bravery was captured on film and quickly went viral. The tide began to turn. More people started to see Tharok as a protector rather than a threat. Public opinion slowly shifted, and support for Emily's campaign grew. But the guild was not finished. They increased the bounty on Tharok, desperate to maintain their control. Emily knew they were running out of time. One evening, as Emily reviewed the day's footage, Marcus approached her. "We need to take this to the Galactic Council. They have to see the truth." Emily nodded. "You're right. It's time." Gathering their evidence, Emily and her team prepared for the next stage of their fight. They would present their case to the Galactic Council, risking everything to save Tharok. The journey to the Galactic Council's headquarters was fraught with danger. Dr. Emily Carter, Tharok, and their team knew the guild would stop at nothing to capture or kill the alien they sought to protect. As their ship navigated through deep space, the tension was palpable. "Emily, we've got incoming," shouted Lieutenant Harper from the cockpit. Red warning lights flashed as enemy ships appeared on the radar. "Prepare for evasive maneuvers," Emily ordered, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. She turned to Tharok, who was watching the chaos with calm eyes. "Stay close to us, Tharok. We won't let them take you." The ship swerved and ducked, avoiding the hunters' laser fire. Emily's team, though primarily scientists and diplomats, had been trained in basic combat maneuvers. They manned the ship's defense systems, firing back at their pursuers. Tharok's keen senses alerted them to dangers they couldn't see. At one point, he growled a warning just as an enemy ship attempted to flank them. Emily's team responded quickly, repelling the attack. "We need to jump to hyperspace," shouted Marcus, frantically working the controls. "Hold on." The ship lurched as they made the jump, escaping the immediate threat. The crew breathed the collective sigh of relief, but they knew it was only temporary. "We can't keep running forever," said Dr. Lee, wiping sweat from his brow. "We need a plan." Emily nodded, gathering her team in the cramped meeting room. "We have allies along the way. We'll make contact and get whatever help we can." The team contacted sympathizers among various alien species who offered safe havens and supplies. Each stop was perilous, with the guild's hunters never far behind. Tharok's presence proved invaluable. His abilities to sense danger and his strength in defending the crew saved them on multiple occasions. One night, as they rested on a remote planet, Tharok stood guard. Emily joined him, gazing at the alien sky. "Thank you for protecting us, Tharok," she said softly. "We'll get through this." Tharok rumbled in acknowledgement, his eyes reflecting the starlight. Emily felt a deep connection to the creature, seeing in him a reflection of the misunderstood and the marginalized. Their journey continued, the hunters relentless in their pursuit. In a particularly harrowing encounter, the team was cornered on an uninhabited moon. Just as it seemed they would be overwhelmed, Tharok's quick thinking and unique abilities turned the tide. He created a diversion, allowing Emily and her team to escape. As they regrouped, Emily's resolve hardened. "We're getting closer," she said. "The council needs to see what we've seen." Finally, they reached the outskirts of the Galactic Council's jurisdiction. The crew, exhausted but determined, prepared for their final approach. Emily reviewed their evidence one last time, feeling a mix of anxiety and hope. "This is it," Marcus said, placing a hand on her shoulder. "We're almost there." The Galactic Council's headquarters loomed ahead, a magnificent structure that symbolized law and order in the galaxy. As their ship docked, Dr. Emily Carter felt a surge of determination. This was their chance to prove Tharok's innocence and end the hunt. "Everyone ready?" Emily asked, her voice steady despite the nervous tension. Her team nodded, their resolve mirrored in their faces. Tharok, towering above them, radiated a calm strength. Marcus led the way, guiding them through the labyrinthine corridors of the council building. "We've got a slot to present our case," he said. "Let's make it count." Inside the grand chamber, the atmosphere was charged with anticipation. Council members from various species filled the room, their expressions a mix of curiosity and skepticism. High Chancellor Varen, a stern figure known for his distrust of Earth and its allies, presided over the session. Emily took a deep breath and stepped forward. "Honorable members of the council, I am Dr. Emily Carter, and I stand here today to defend Tharok, a creature wrongfully accused and hunted by the Galactic Hunters Guild." She presented the footage of Tharok's heroic actions, the testimonies from the colony's residents, and the scientific evidence of Tharok's intelligence and empathy. The room was silent, the council members riveted by the compelling evidence. As Emily spoke, guild representatives glared, ready to discredit her. "This creature is a menace," one of them shouted, breaking the silence. "It's a threat to us all." Emily didn't flinch. "Tharok saved countless lives. He is no monster." Just then, a tremor shook the building. Alarms blared as chaos erupted. An asteroid, undetected and on a collision course, had struck the council's orbital station. The structure groaned under the impact, debris raining down. Panic spread through the chamber. Council members scrambled for safety, but the exits were blocked by debris. Emily's team looked to her for guidance. "Tharok, we need you," Emily said urgently. Without hesitation, Tharok sprang into action, using his immense strength to clear the rubble and create a path to safety. Council members watched in awe as Tharok protected them, his actions speaking louder than any words. The alien, labeled a monster, was saving their lives. High Chancellor Varen, trapped under a fallen beam, looked up as Tharok approached. The alien effortlessly lifted the debris, freeing Varen. "Thank you," Varen muttered, shock and gratitude in his eyes. As the tremor subsided, Emily helped the injured and coordinated the evacuation. Tharok's heroism was undeniable. The guild representatives, seeing their narrative crumble, fell silent. Once everyone was safe, the council reconvened, visibly shaken but resolute. High Chancellor Varen spoke first. "We have witnessed the true nature of Tharok. He is not a threat, but a protector. The hunt is over." The chamber erupted in applause. Emily's heart swelled with relief and pride. They had done it. Tharok stood tall, his eyes meeting Emily's with a silent gratitude. As they exited the chamber, Marcus clapped Emily on the back. "You did it, Dr. Carter. You saved him." Emily smiled, tears of joy in her eyes. "We saved him. And we've shown the galaxy that understanding and compassion can overcome fear." The Galactic Council's Grand Chamber was abuzz with activity. News of Tharok's heroism had spread like wildfire, transforming the once hostile atmosphere into one of awe and respect. Dr. Emily Carter, Tharok, and their team were invited back for an official ceremony recognizing their contributions to galactic peace and understanding. Emily stood beside Tharok, who had been given a place of honor. The alien's presence, once met with fear and suspicion, now inspired admiration. High Chancellor Varen approached, his stern face softened by a rare smile. "Dr. Carter," Varen began, his voice carrying through the chamber, "you and your team have shown us the true meaning of courage and compassion. Tharok's actions have proven that understanding and empathy can triumph over fear." The council members nodded in agreement, their expressions reflecting the profound impact of recent events. Varen turned to Tharok. "Tharok, you have saved lives and shown us the strength of your spirit. For that, we are forever grateful." Emily felt a swell of pride as the chamber erupted in applause. She looked at her team, their faces beaming with satisfaction. They had fought hard, and their efforts were finally being recognized. After the ceremony, Marcus approached Emily with a proposal. "The council wants to initiate a new program to promote peace and understanding among different species. They've asked you to lead it." Emily's eyes widened. "Me? Lead a galactic initiative?" Marcus smiled. "Who better? You've proven your dedication and ability to bridge divides. Tharok will be an ambassador, showing that even those labeled as monsters can be heroes." Emily turned to Tharok, who rumbled an approving sound. "What do you say, Tharok? Ready for a new adventure?" Tharok's eyes gleamed with understanding. "Ready." Back at the research outpost, Emily and her team began planning the new initiative. They established communication lines with various alien species, setting up exchanges and collaborative projects. Tharok's story was shared widely, becoming a symbol of hope and unity. One evening, as they watched the sunset over the planet, Emily reflected on their journey. "We've come a long way," she said softly, "from a misunderstood creature hunted by the galaxy to a symbol of peace." Tharok nodded, his eyes filled with gratitude. "Emily, friend," she smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "Yes, Tharok, friends." The new program took off, with Tharok visiting different planets and sharing his experiences. The galaxy began to change, little by little, as more species embraced the values of empathy and understanding. At a major summit, Emily stood before a diverse audience, her heart pounding with excitement. "We've shown that no matter how different we appear, we all share the same hopes and fears. It's time to move beyond prejudice and work together for a better future." The crowd erupted in applause, and Emily felt a profound sense of accomplishment. She had dedicated her life to understanding and protecting alien species, and now her work was making a difference on a galactic scale. As the summit concluded, Tharok approached her, his presence still commanding yet gentle. "Emily, future bright.